or even the white flashlight on your Apple Watch, it gives off a pretty bright light that may not be an issue if you're alone, but can be pretty disturbing with other people around. For example, laying in bed next to someone, trying to find something you dropped in a movie theater, or just trying to find your way to the bathroom at night. Also, when using a bright white light in dark conditions, your eyes are forced to transition from night vision to day vision and then back again once you turn the light off. So to address these issues, Apple added a red flashlight to the Apple Watch, since the color has some unique qualities that make it useful in certain situations. Red light doesn't break your night vision, which is helpful for someone working in a dark setting, like an astronomer observing the night sky while using a red light to reference their star charts, or a photographer checking their prints in a dark room. It's also helpful in the wilderness, being less disturbing to wildlife and even attracting less bugs, since they have a harder time seeing red light. But if you're someone who's a little less adventurous, the red flashlight on your Apple Watch still comes in handy. If you're in bed at night reading, using the red light is much less distracting to the person sleeping next to you. If you dropped something in a theater, the red flashlight won't bother other audience members, which is why if your Apple Watch is in theater mode, the red flashlight will appear by default. And if you wake up to use the bathroom at night but don't want to break your night vision or interrupt your sleep as much, using the red light to find your way would be much more comfortable. And just as a bonus, there's also a strobe light mode on the Apple Watch, which is great to use during night runs or early morning walks to increase your visibility for other pedestrians. This is Greg from Apple Explained. Thanks for watching till the end, and I'll see you in the next video.
"14 iPhones, 2 months of preparation." This is it. A new or next to new version of every single iPhone flagship ever created. This is the most expensive and time-consuming video I've ever made, but it's gonna be amazing. So before we jump into any kind of camera comparison, we're gonna start by unboxing all of them, starting with the original iPhone, and this is actually the only one where I didn't manage to get a brand new version of the phone. It was coming out at like £10,000 for the sake of just having a seal, but that said, this is next to new and still has all the stuff you'd get in the original package. And on that note, you can probably tell already, iPhone packages were much more elaborate back then. I feel like getting a smartphone in general was considered a much bigger deal, and so this thing is packed to the brim with stuff, including a pretty excessively sized charger that still delivers the same 5 watts of power of the newer, slimmer ones. You get a 30-pin cable, Apple's standard at the time, and what I thought was pretty cool, a full-on charging dock. We've also got the good old iPhone stereo headset here. Now, this iPhone is also known as the iPhone 2G. I really like the way it feels. It's just dense and solid. Okay, moving on, we've got the iPhone 3G. This was released a year after, and I remember this thing. If you had an iPhone 3G, I was 13 at the time, it was a dream. You could play touch hockey, you could pop virtual bubble wrap to your heart's content. Amazing. Don't want to damage it. To give you a bit of context, one of the biggest features of this phone was the fact that it had GPS in it. Yes, it was only 11 years ago, but this was a different era. Also, as the name suggested, this was the first iPhone to come with 3G functionality. And arguably even more important than this is when Apple debuted the App Store, which was super basic at launch, but was soon to change the entire smartphone landscape. We still got the same excessively sized charger as last time, and the cable and the earphones you get with this, they're the same too. And now for the surreal part, taking the seals off an 11-year-old brand new iPhone. Let me tell you, this video has been months in terms of planning and preparation, but moments like this make it worth it. Compared to the iPhone 2G that came before, you'll notice a lot of the seals on these phones, because they're so old, they weren't meant to be unboxed 10 years later, they have warped a little bit, and they look a bit crazy on the front, but they are genuinely sealed phones. You'll notice everything's gotten quite a bit smaller with this phone. Even so, I am loving the